So if it's been 2 years and they're filing a claim saying that it was this hail event or this storm event that happened that made the damage, and they're saying, well, it's been too long because there's been multiple storm events. Should it even matter because there have been other storm events and it could be tied to a storm event?
So when you file a claim, you have to file the damages that occurred on a certain event. So if there's multiple events that have happened since then, every event that has new damages, those new damages from that event would be a potential covered loss from that event. So if we're talking about a hail or let's say a hurricane loss like 4 years ago, and there's been multiple storms since then, if you file a claim on the hurricane, it would be very difficult for a carrier to be able to sparse through and say what happened then versus what happened to these other storms, because they would only owe for what happened at that storm. Now, if they filed a claim on the newest storm, then only the new damages that occurred on that storm would matter. So being able to segregate the losses and separate them would be difficult. And so the carrier would say that they are prejudiced with the amount of time that has expired since the loss occurred. So if 4 years went by after a hurricane, it'd be very difficult for the carrier to identify what occurred during the hurricane versus what occurred at any other time, because a lot of that evidence is spoiled or dissipates or whatever. Think about like a hail loss. If you're saying that the hail event occurred this year, but you file it 3 years later and there's no spatter, there's no other evidence, it'd be very difficult to know when that had occurred. So the carrier would be prejudiced to be able to make a decision, a logical, reasonable, educated decision on what actually occurred or not, so they could have coverage. So it's a prejudice rule. The amount of time that expires after you file the claim could prejudice the carrier and prevent them from being able to make a qualified decision on whether or not there's coverage. Does that make sense?
It does, but I guess my question, what I'm trying to rationalize is, if you can show that it's hail damage, it doesn't really matter if it was the one that caused it, as long as they can identify that it is indeed hail damage or wind damage.
Unless there's limitations. So if all the wind damage happened back here, no new damage happened on these new storms, but they can identify there's wind damage. If it is beyond the amount of time necessary to file a claim, so the carriers will say you have to give prompt notice or immediate notice, or within a reasonable period of time provide notice to us of the loss. So prompt, immediate, reasonable, how much time is that? And so there's case law in different states that have specified what that is, sometimes on a per peril basis. But generally speaking, for most claims, it doesn't matter how much time has expired as long as the carrier isn't prejudiced. So they have to prove that they have a prejudice against being able to make a reasonable claims decision. But for some states and for some policies, there is a time limit. I knew of a policy in Georgia, I think it was nationwide. They had 6 months from the date of loss for hail losses specifically. So if that amount of time has expired, you can't file for that hail event. So even if they know there's hail damage. But there's also this idea of a policy period. As long as, if they had that policy the whole time, 5 years later, they're in the same insurance policy, and we know that that damage is there, technically the carrier would still owe for it unless there is a specific exclusion in the policy saying you have to file in this amount of time, or they could prove that there is a prejudice and it was too much time has expired since then. But either way, there's usually a suit limitation period. You have a certain amount of time to file suit if they act inappropriately in the claim. And once you cross that line, you lose all your leverage with the carrier. They can tell you to pound sand. You can't do anything about it anyway, for most states. Some states, it depends on when you file the claim on when that suit limitation period might move. So I don't really remember where I was going with this, but generally speaking, the more time that expires after a loss, the harder it is to get coverage because the more the carrier's prejudiced. You do want to file on a specific date of loss. You need to know when something occurred if it's knowable. I hope that answered the question.
Yeah, I feel like it shouldn't matter, I guess, is what I'm getting down to, as long as it's not an event that happened outside of them having this policy, right? Because if it's hail damage, and you know that it reasonably happened within the time that you had this, or wind damage, whatever, it really shouldn't matter. It's the fact of like, well, I identified it now. I have wind damage or I have hail damage. You see it's damage. So,
When did it happen?
but I'm saying, so they have that in their policy just as like an out to not do it because again, I feel like it should.
It does limit their exposure,
Yeah.
right? So if there is a period of time that you have to file a claim, it would limit how many claims come after that period of time, after a major event. So it eliminates a lot of exposure. There are a lot of people, especially with roof losses, exterior losses, because you don't get up on your roof very often.
Right.
And so if an event occurs and wind blows roofing material off or hail damages the roof, leaks might take months to come all the way through from the attic into the insulation, into the drywall, especially if it's a slow leak, it's not something major. So it might take a while before you start seeing stains in your ceiling and realize you need to do something. And then maybe you take a month or two after you see that to finally get fed up and call a roofer. And now it's been 8-9 months since the event, and you might file the claim. Well, if there's a limitation in the policy that says you have to file within 6 months, and the carrier doesn't end up having to pay that. So it is a limitation. It's a reduction of coverage in a way.
Right.
So there are things like that in policies which aren't helpful for policyholders, but it does limit the exposure. After a major event, there are a lot of claims that are filed. And it's good to do that because after a major event, carrier might have reinsurance. They're a little bit looser with their pocketbooks. They're more likely to settle claims a little bit faster. But 6 months, 8 months, a year after that event, there hasn't been another storm. The carriers know, just like we do, that there's going to be a lot of roofing professionals out there knocking on doors that are starting to starve a little bit. And so they're going to start filing a lot of frivolous claims and trying and maybe even causing vandalism. So by limiting how long you have, it eliminates a lot of the extra BS that the carriers have to deal with too.
So that's kind of the logic behind it.
I think so.
Okay. Now I was trying to find the logic behind the carriers doing that, other than just controlling the amount of money that they're going to have to pay out.
I mean, ultimately, that's what every decision they make is. It's a business.